Marston's domain.
It took them long enough, but finally Super Nintendo games are on the Switch. Hey everyone, Marston here, and today I want to talk about the fact that Nintendo has finally done this. They have finally added Super Nintendo games to the Switch. I don't know why it needed to take this long, but whatever, we have them now. But there's some things that I want to talk about with this. One is that apparently they will no longer add games monthly. I think what their plan is they're going to add games in chunks periodically, which in my opinion is just better. Because if this Super Nintendo thing came out with just like 5 games, that would have been really underwhelming. So I'm glad that this came out with a big batch of games, and for them to add more batches, I think is a better approach. But the one thing that I really want to talk about, and if you don't want, I guess you could consider them spoilers for this app. If you don't want any of those, just close the video because this is probably all I'm going to talk about at this point. It was leaked a long time ago that there were games for Super Nintendo on Switch. A long time ago, it was data mined. And then all of a sudden, they got removed from the code and they were no longer there. And now people on Reddit have figured out the games that line up with the data mine and games that we don't have yet. And what really, really sucks, and I know not everyone's going to care about this, is that Donkey Kong Country has been in none of it. It wasn't in the data mine at the start. It isn't in any of the news that we have now. It really makes me feel like they're honestly going to skip out on Donkey Kong Country. And that was the one game years ago when they announced this whole thing with being able to play NES and Super Nintendo games online. Because they did talk about it a long time ago. I remember when the Switch was first announced, when they showed the first Switch event thing, and they showed off ARMS and all that stuff. I remember going to the website. I remember NES, Super Nintendo. I remember it. And I know it happened because other people talk about it too, that this was supposed to happen a long time ago. And then they started to kind of change their words on it, and now finally we have it. But years ago, I remember saying, I cannot wait to be able to play Donkey Kong Country with my friends online. That is something I could have never dreamed of back in the day. So to see this game potentially not even be offered on the system, it's just getting so old on the things that happened with this game. Because on the Wii, it got removed from the eShop and then restored years later because of copyright with Rare and stuff like that. At least I'm pretty sure it has to do with that. Please, if it doesn't, then it's whatever. But sometimes people get mad whenever I talk about the whole like Rare copyright thing, because I used to talk about it with K. Rool that I thought it may have hindered his chance at getting into Smash Bros. But then everyone was saying, well, Nintendo owns K. Rool, so in terms of the game series, I do believe Rare had something to do with the fact that the game just got removed for years off of the Wii shop. And then on the Wii U, it was on there. So I was like, okay, things are looking good. But now on the Switch, it's looking like it's not going to be there. And I know that, you know, it could still come. It's not that it's definitely not, but it depends on how far they're going to go with this service because it's not in any of the information that we have. Because the data mine is lining up with all the games that have come out so far. And there's still games on that data mine that aren't in yet. So if those batches of games ends up only being what's in that data mine, then we're not going to get Donkey Kong Country. And it's just frustrating because I just want this series to come back. Like, I know that it is back with Tropical Freeze, but if that's the only thing that we get for the Switch, that's just really disappointing to me. I want to see something new with Donkey Kong. And the reason why I bring up my frustration about Donkey Kong Country and this whole Super Nintendo thing is that I just wish that Rare never got bought out and caused all of this hubbub with this series. Because Retro Studios does an amazing job. Tropical Freeze is one of my favorite games. That game is amazing. But some people have brought up that maybe it's not there yet on the SNES library because we could be getting an HD remaster. And I just don't think so. I think that's where the whole Rare copyright stuff comes into play. I honestly do. And don't get me wrong, you all know that I would absolutely love for a trilogy remake of the DKC series, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And it's a shame, because honestly, if they didn't want to make a brand new DKC game for Switch because they have Tropical Freeze on there, I would be content with an HD remaster of the first 3 games. Add in some achievements or something, add some leaderboards, I'd be content. I honestly would. So hopefully we get everything that we wanted with this and Donkey Kong Country does come to this service and we get a trilogy remaster. but I'm afraid that we're not going to get any of those. So that's all I really have to say about this. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all this. If you enjoyed this and want to support my content, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Take care, everyone.